Welcome. I'm Tom, your host. This is a DROPCAST movie poster podcast release edition. This format is part of the Instagram blog Drop, and you can find us under @DropCAST. We do reviews, news, and interviews that all have to do with the film business. And today we have the pleasure of talking to Ruiz Burgos again. He's been here before and showed us his beautiful, was it Baby Yoda? I think it was Baby Yoda and Bubble Freak. That was kind of the same style later on. And now we have one of the first pieces of the year that will definitely make it to the poster of the year edition at the end of the year, which is his beautiful Lord of the Rings piece. And stay tuned for some more stuff that I will discuss with James, of course, later on. And now let's say hello to Ruiz. How you doing, man?
Hi, hello. I'm happy to be here again.
Yeah, happy to have you again. I mean, especially on this piece, it's people loved it. People saw it first time, and we had there was a group pre-sale for your print, which was amazing. It was sold out in seconds, and the group pre-sale, and then the next day it sold out again in a couple of seconds. So yeah, people really want that piece, and it is definitely a beautiful piece. So for everybody who has not seen this one, it's the Lord of the Rings, and the Lord of the Rings comes in two editions. It's a 24 by 36 inch print, right?
Yes.
And it was, do you know how many was there available, or were there available at the
I
release?
think it was 225 for the regular and 150 of the variant version.
Exactly, the variant. I just pulled it up. You can see the difference here. First on the first glance, you probably wouldn't notice, but the most notable change is the one with the Shire in there, the Hobbit, the Hobbit Concerning Hobbit edition, and it's really cool way to celebrate Middle Earth. And I think there's going to be more because, how many years? 20 years of the Fellowship of the Ring, right? So there's going to be more.
We are early within the anniversary, but yeah, it's the year of the anniversary.
Exactly.
That's enough.
Yeah, and you had you told me before. I don't know if I ever should share this because this movie is very very dear to you. That has this a special connection. You want to tell us about it?
Well, I love the Lord of the Rings. I read the books when I was young, and when the movies were announced, I was in the internet the whole day looking for any details, any news. And the release of the movies in cinema was a huge event, and I really enjoyed it. And the first one, it's the movie I saw most times in cinema. By far. I had a friend working in the movie theater in those times, and I go with him to the cinema, so it was free. It was easy, but it was every week he called me and said, "Oh, you want to go to see a movie? Okay, what movie?" We said, Lord of the Rings. And we watched Lord of the Rings a lot of times. I loved it every time.
Did you because you read the books before, probably, did you imagine that it turned out this way? Do you feel that it's very close to the books? I mean, I've read the books, but I want to hear your opinion.
Closer enough because it is impossible to be extremely close to those books, because there's a lot of songs, poetry, characters, and sometimes it's just too much. But yeah, I think they did a perfect work with the adaptation, and I really enjoyed the three of them. Yeah. But the first one was the kind of surprise. You know what you can expect in the second one or the third one if you read the books. But the first one was a really nice surprise. I loved it.
Yeah, I have to say I'm very excited about the 4K edition because I saw a little featurette with Peter Jackson talking about what kind of stuff he changed and what he added. So I'm excited to rewatch it again. And Fellowship is my favorite of the three. So I really love this kind of origin story that he gave it. What would you say is missing from the movie version that you loved in the book version?
Missing. I don't know. I would have loved to see Tom Bombadil
Yeah, same here.
in the movie, but I think it's a difficult character to translate to a movie, and I don't know if the character will have changed it too much the tone of the whole movie.
Yeah,
Maybe too much comedy in the movie with that characters. So
that's true.
I would have been curious, but I'm good without him,
All right.
honestly.
So let's talk about more about the print. You did this time. You collaborated with Grey Matter Art, and I don't know if Grey Matter Art had released some Lord of the Rings stuff before, but they did it in a co-release with Bottleneck.
Yeah.
Why? How did this contact came together, and why wasn't it Bottleneck that released it?
Oh, I really I don't know how to answer the question because I always talk with Grey Matter Art.
Okay.
I work with Bottleneck a lot of times,
Yeah.
and I didn't know if the license was from Grey Matter Art or from Bottleneck. Grey Matter told me like 2 years ago now to do this trilogy when I worked together in the RoboCop poster I did with them, and they told me they really wanted to work with me again in a poster, and they told me a few titles, and I picked the Lord of the Rings like super fast. I said, "Oh, Lord of the Rings." They didn't tell me if the
Oh,
license
okay.
was Bottleneck or not. So I didn't know that until almost the release day
Oh, all
when
right.
they
Yeah.
posted a text saying it's a collaboration with Bottleneck. I
Mhm.
didn't know it,
Oh, okay.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
All
I'm
good.
happy. I work with them, with
Yeah.
Bottleneck. I love working with both of them. It was
Oh, all
perfect.
right. Yeah. Cool.
It's really nice for me.
Yeah. So Lord of the Rings. Did they have the whole trilogy? So there's going to be a whole trilogy of these.
Yeah, it's going to be a whole trilogy, of
Do
course.
we have to wait a year?
I no, we don't.
Okay.
We don't need to to wait a year. Sorry.
Because I think
Uh,
it would be like every time the 20th anniversary if we waited a year, right?
yeah, it will be great to have every poster in the anniversary, but I just can't wait
But
for a year.
sure.
I need to do it as soon as I have time
Okay.
because I don't want them to look different. And
Okay.
you are
Sure.
constantly evolving. Or, it's everything. Every poster you do is different in a way.
Hmm.
And I have a style more or less, but it's still changing. And I don't want them to look
Sure.
different. I want them to look like a big piece, like the movies. For me, it's just one big movie,
Yeah.
very long.
Okay.
But
So
it's just one. It's one story. It's one movie divided in three, and I want the same with the poster. It's just
it's
one poster divided in three.
are the other posters done?
No, they are
Okay.
not done. I had the sketches of the three because I planned the three together. I did a whole sketch of the trilogy, and then I divided it in three parts. And I painted just the first one.
All right.
The second one, I hope I can do it in the next couple months or so. I would like to have it printed for summer at
Okay.
last.
And then the last one for
Last
winter,
one,
probably, right?
yeah, I want the last one before the end of the year. I
Yeah.
don't know when.
All
Would
right.
love to have for November or something like that,
So,
but you never know.
can you give us a little tease? What are we going to see as the main character? Basically, in this one, we have as Gandalf, pretty big. Is going to be changes in trilogy? Can you tease at least who you're going to put there, or is it too much to ask?
The second one have Frodo in as the main character.
Okay.
The third one, of course, have Aragorn.
All right.
That is
Sounds good. Sounds good.
total sense.
I was
I
wondering
don't know.
for Yeah, I was thinking for a second. Okay, could the second be Saruman, and could the third one be Sauron? That would be interesting.
Yeah, it will be interesting, but I think I always prefer the main characters in
Yeah,
the
sure.
poster, and I want to include Saruman in the second one, of
Of
course,
course, yeah.
and I want to include other villains because in the first one there are only heroes almost because it's the Fellowship of the Ring. You need all the character in the Fellowship in the poster, and they are 9. So
Yeah.
there are a lot of characters, and I haven't space for villains in this one. But yeah, in the second and the third one, I want to include some of them. But still, I want the main character to be
Yeah.
a main character of
Understandable.
the movies.
Yeah.
And I think that the Return of the King needs Aragorn as the main character of the movie. If you look the whole trilogy together, it means I think it makes sense to have Frodo in the middle, in the center of the whole trilogy. So that's the idea.
Okay.
And the map will continue during the 3 poster, of course.
It's further they go west. All right. Then my
That's all I can say.
That's great. I want to know about the process of the print. Where did you start out? Where was it going, and so on and so on.
Well, it started with a small rough sketch, really ugly. It's always started that way, and in that character, in that small sketch, I only do composition. I decide the characters and the position and the size. And I did the three poster of the trilogy in this kind of rough sketch. And then when I have all decided, I did a pretty nice sketch with the final colors, with the final composition for the gallery. Because I already had the poster in my head, but you need to sell it to the gallery, and you need it approved before starting doing the final art and everything. So I did a more detailed sketch that looks really, really close to the final art. Then when that sketch was approved, I started doing line art, as I always do. It's all digital. It's all painted in Photoshop. I always do lines before, and then I start coloring. I think that's because I worked in comic books a few years ago, and I still love to do lines. I lost most of the line when I paint over them, but I still like to draw lines.
You know what will happen.
Time doing lines.
You know what will happen next is because people seen this now, people want it. So here's a little, if you want to give that away, put it as a little special in an AP cube, maybe that would be interesting.
Would be interesting.
So people,
I never.
If that happens, people thank me.
Totally.
Okay, but yeah, it looks. I mean, the line sketch looks very detailed, very amazing. I think that's something people would really love to have, and I would love to have one. So, kind of like an OG Ruiz.
Yeah, kind of, but it's all digital anyway, so there are not an OG with the poster.
Yeah, that's true indeed. But still, it looks amazing. It's probably something that would be like a one of one that people would really enjoy.
I will enjoy it with other artists, of course.
Yeah, same, exactly, right? So yeah, so Ruiz, you have to do something about this. I wanted to know what, because we walked through the process and we've seen the finished project, and as I pointed out, there are two differences, or like two key differences in both variants. I'm sorry. Oh, I had to sneeze. I'm sorry. There are two differences with the Shire especially and Rivendell. Who came up with this? Was it your idea to do it in different variants, and why did you come up with this?
The gallery asked for a variant. They were making numbers, and they said it will be better if we do a variant version. I haven't planned a variant version of the poster. I usually don't plan a variant version. Sometimes it's something that came up in the process. You are making the poster and you think, oh, it will be cool if we do this or this. But it wasn't the case at all. When the poster was totally finished, the gallery asked for a variant version, and I tell them, well, if we are going with a Gicle poster, we can make changes in the art, because most of the times with screen print you need to change only color to be able to work with the same screens. That wasn't the case, so I have total freedom to do whatever way I wanted to do, and I didn't want to make a color variant, a different color variant. I mean, because I want them as working as a whole piece when the trilogy is complete. And if I do a different color version of the Fellowship of the Ring, and you are not able to get the variant of the Two Towers, they were not matched together. They will look awful. So I wanted them in the same color range, in the same style, to just work together perfectly. And I prefer to do a few changes in the poster. I thought a lot during the process. I have Galadriel in the poster from the beginning, but while I was working on it, I was thinking, oh, I really miss Bilbo, because I love Bilbo, I love Ian Holm. I really wanted him in the poster, and I was thinking, if I can't put Bilbo in the first poster, in the poster of the Fellowship of the Ring, I won't have another opportunity, because he's not in the Two Towers. In Return of the King, he's very different. So, because he's really old, it's just a cameo almost. So my first idea for the variant was to include Bilbo, and it makes sense to include the Shire instead of Rivendell. So we have a more Elvis version and a more Hobbit version.
Yeah. So that's really great. I mean, it turned out really well. And it also changes because it says the Shire on it, right? On the Shire version.
I highlighted the Shire in the regular version because I wanted to highlight a place in the map in each poster. And the Shire was the place I wanted to highlight in the first one. But then when I worked in the variant, I thought it makes more sense if the Shire was only in the variant version, because it's most Shire focused. So it's ended only in the variant version. And I changed a couple of things, a couple extra things, like the autumn leaves falling. They are in the Rivendell version, because Rivendell is always in autumn. It has this kind of color, this kind of feeling of weather. And in the Shire, it just it doesn't make sense. So I removed that, and I added the smoke in Gandalf pipes. Because I always remember Gandalf doing both with the smoke and this kind of things in the Shire, and I wanted to include the smoke in some way. Yeah, I think that's the changes between them.
Yeah, and you got the rider and the hobbit hole, basically.
The rider instead of back end. I put back end behind Frodo in the regular one. And because I wanted to to make a small reference to the Shire. And then in the variant version, it didn't make sense because you have the whole Shire.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It was kind of redundant. So I changed it for a small Nazgul in his horse. I really miss it to include more Nazgul in the posters because they are really cool. But again, I had a lot of characters to include.
Exactly, yeah, and you have some chance to go through them.
I will try to include a Nazgul in the second one for sure, and maybe the third one too.
Alrighty. One more question. I know it's going to be picking your favorite child, but which is your favorite version?
Oh, my favorite version is always the regular.
Okay, perfect.
That's an easy question for me.
I thought it was going to be tougher.
I don't like my posters. I never have my own poster in home. My girlfriend always wants to frame one of my posters and hand that. I just can't. I hate them. When I
this one.
I don't want to see it again. So
but this one is special. Come on, you told me.
Yeah, this one is special, but I still don't think I have them in my wall.
All right.
But the regular version is my version. The variant version is always, maybe not always, but most of the times is something a gallery wants or a commissioner wants. And it's my idea. It was my idea to put Bilbo there, to make the Shire instead on Rivendell. It is my version. It's not something they told me, you need to include this. And I had total freedom with that. But I still feel the regular version as the final version. It's my version. The other one is an extra. I like it too. It looks nice. But, I try to make an autumn poster. This kind of colors, this kind of browns and orange in the poster. So including the Shire was kind of a risk because it's green in a poster that doesn't look green at all.
Yeah.
And it was a bit difficult, but I think it looks nice. But I still think the regular version is.
I have to say myself, I'm a big fan of the regular version, but when I was talking to a couple Lord of the Rings fans, they really enjoyed the variant as well. So it's like very it's just like totally different. It comes to the people, but I'm a regular guy myself. So
I always think if it was the contrary, if the regular version were the Shire version and Rivendell was in the variant, everyone will probably tell you, oh, the variant is perfect, Rivendell is beautiful, I want Galadriel in the poster.
Yeah.
Because people heard variant version and they said, oh, that's the one. And I always like, why? No, that's not the one. It's just a more limited one, and that's cool. It's pricely one. I can understand that, but that it doesn't mean it's a better version. If I do a variant, it's not because I think, oh, I can make it better. No, my poster is the regular version. The variant version is just another one, another idea, something I think it will be nice or interesting, and people enjoy it. That's great. I love it. But for me, the poster is the regular version.
Perfect. So before we're gonna go, I want you, because you have a little something on the side, because people have not seen it yet, because I hit it probably pretty well. But let's show a poster. You have a poster right there.
Yes, I have.
Look at this, people. Look how beautiful it looks. Oh my God, I can't wait to have it in hand.
If in the camera it looks as nice as it looks in person, but trust me, it's really beautiful. I'm really happy with the print. I'm really happy with the color, with the paper. It looks perfect. I'm extremely happy with it. Yeah, I don't have the variant version printed yet. I only have printer proof of the regular version. but I really love it. It's one of my favorite prints for one of my works.
Sweet, that sounds very great. So the last thing or the last question is going to be a little bit off topic, but you have founded or you're one of the co-founders of the Spainters, which is
Yeah.
like really great name. And I just wanted to ask you if you like want to let the people know what's coming up next with you guys and what is the plan.
I still have nothing to say because we still are working of what we are going to do next.
Okay.
We still don't have nothing in stone, so it's going to be a while yet.
All right.
But I know that there are a few things we are talking about, and yeah, it's exciting. It's really cool projects,
Yeah.
and it's really cool to work with my friends. They are awesome. I
Could
love
you
them.
mention who is in Spainters again? Because I think I will forget one.
Oh, it's Juan Saniose, Aurelio Lorenzo, and Alberto Reyes Francos.
Perfect. Yeah, and you of course. So that's a cool quartet. I would say.
Yeah, we are the four riders of the apocalypse.
Yeah, that's a good choice. Who are you? Which horseman are you?
I don't know. War, probably.
All right. If I'm going to talk to them, I'm going to ask them the same question.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on, Ruiz. It's been a pleasure as always. Such a lovely print. Congratulations on selling out so quick. Can't wait for when the APs come out. People will be notified, and definitely probably want to get those APs. So stay tuned, people, and for the rest of the show, when we're going to talk, when James and I are going to talk about the rest of the releases. And yeah, this is it. Thank you, guys. Take care. Hey, people. We're back as promised. James is back with us. Glad to have you on again. And today we're going to talk about the rest of the releases, as I promised in the previous part that I did with Ruiz Burgos for his wonderful Lord of the Rings piece. And you also see that a cool new cover I did for Instagram. So I hope you enjoy the new style we're doing it. So we are going to start off with some releases by Bottleneck. And Bottleneck did a cool series with Flory. They started that way back when he did a similar piece. I think it was 12 by 24. That was the size, right? I'm not sure. I think the old one was the same size as that. And they did, yeah, 12 by 24. And they did he did that for the original trilogy, and it turned out very cool. Like the same size. It's like one of my first pieces I got was the Matt Ferguson print. The Star Wars trilogy, the triptych with the ship, and this is like my actually first print I ever owned, and this is the same size, so that's very cool to have actually something that can go in the frames. So yeah, here it is as the first one. It's called New Friends, and it's a screen print, 12 by 24 inches. It's a hand numbered edition of 175, and was $40. There's also a variant version which was which has an edition of 100, and it is 12 by 24 inches as well, and has this like kind of like gold beige, like not beige, but could you
sepia.
call it beige? Sepia.
It's like a sepia.
There
Yeah.
you go. That's right, and there's some more prints in that collection. What's the next one, James? And how do you like it?
How do I like Flori's?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. If you've got the originals as well, I can see like why people would have picked that up. I think my favorite's probably the Force Awakens one, just because it's I think if you're thinking about classic kind of imagery or what comes to mind from that movie, that's the one that comes into mind. Like remembering the trailers for that, and seeing stuff like that.
Yeah, but
it's cool.
I have to say also like the throne, by the way, in the Rise of Skywalker, which is called by the way the Last Jedi version is called Training, and this version I just pulled up, the Rise of Skywalker one, is called Generations. And as I mentioned before, both the variant is always available or was available 100 times, edition of 100, and the regular had an edition of 175, and I think it looks really, really great. And I love also when you look at the details, I don't know if you can probably see it really on screen, but you can see the eyes in the actual print of Palpatine and Rise of Skywalker. They pop, they're like little illuminated, which was a like really fun thing to look at. But yeah, overall, very cool trilogy. Love the perspective, love Rey's arc in this kind of, in the storyline, which turned out very cool. So great job, Flory. Really enjoyed it. What's our next piece, or the next series, actually, I have to say, that we're going to talk about, James?
Cool. The next series is something that I ended up getting on the drop. It's Mark Chilcott's Batman. So we've got the Batpod, and it's a 14 by 24. So there you go, another...
No,
oh, no,
it's
the others were 12 by 24.
Almost.
Yeah, Mark Chilcott likes doing 14 by 24. Yeah. So this one's a hand-numbered edition of 100 for the Batpod. And then, like, to match with that, we've got the Batmobile from the Tim Burton movie.
I think that's my
that one's also,
I think that's my favorite from this series, I have to say.
That's the one that I picked up.
Good choice.
In terms of the vehicles, for sure. And then we've got some kind of like abstract city skylines. So there's Gotham. Same
By the way,
size.
the Batmobile was available 125 times, or the hand number edition is 125. So just
there we go.
Putting it out there. The Gotham is back to 100.
100. Yeah, everything else was 100. So, and then that Batmobile was just 125. And then Red City. So I ended up getting Gotham and the Batmobile. And I saw these a while ago. Mark like put these out there kind of within the artist spectrum.
Okay.
And I really loved them, both the Batpod and the Batmobile. And originally they were kind of colored quite like Gotham, so they had quite a lot of yellows and reds. But for some reason they didn't get approved. I think it was something to do with Warner Brothers didn't think that those colors really represented the films. So obviously he went back and presented them more in this kind of like noir style, and they got approved. So I was really, really pleased to see those.
Yeah, I also really like the aspect of the city and stuff, because I love architecture prints and like those cityscapes. I'm really big fan of stuff that we're going to talk about in a little bit. And they turned out really well. And that's not our only Batman stuff we have for you. There's some more stuff that Bottleneck released, or at least we don't have it for you, but we present it to you. And it's this very cool Gotham Shadow print by Ben Wills. It's also a screen print. By the way, the Mark Chilcott ones were G-Clays. And the Ben Wills one is 16 by 24 inches, also a different size, not 18 by 24. We have so many choices. And this is a hand numbered edition of 125, and I think it looks really cool. I love the simplicity and the minimalism in this one, and really cool depicted. Your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it's good to see. It's good to see Bottleneck like putting out a new artist, quite a minimal style, and it's really memorable. That image actually like stayed in my head. So again, yeah, I'm liking that.
Alrighty. Now we move over to Disney. What do we have in store here?
Dave Perillo. No, I really like this print. It's one of the best Disney films, I think.
Sleeping Beauty, okay. Didn't know that you're a big Sleeping Beauty fan.
I wouldn't say I'm like a big.
Now you're the Sleeping Beauty fan. Do you like to sleep in?
I'm a big sleeping fan. Yeah.
Okay.
But no, this is another one that I'm a big fan. I really like Dave Perillo's stuff. I think he does it's a good way of taking with animated stuff, taking the original designs, but just like putting a slightly stylized angular twist on them. And then obviously this series with the shields. This one's a screen print, 18 by 24. And this was an edition of 100.
Very nice. And we have some more Disney stuff. I have to say I'm not a big fan of them, but I think there are a bunch of people who really like them, and maybe like kids' bedrooms would love them. And I like Cliff Cramp and the style what he does, but I'm not very fond of this series. But maybe you're more of a fan. I don't know. But I'm presenting you here. It's called this. The first one is called The Proposal, and it's a G clay print, 24 by 12 inches again, and an edition of 100. All of them are, by the way, edition of 100 and all in the same size. And the second one we have is By the Sea. And then we have, we're going to go take a picnic, which is also kind of funny to see. I just
don't know why these weren't put out of like, or maybe they are put out for Valentine's Day is not that far off.
That's true, maybe.
So I guess these would be good like Valentine's presents. They're all like Mickey and Minnie.
Yeah. I also love the beach.
I don't know when they'll be.
I think the beach one or the last one, By the Beach, and the Surf's Up one. I think the Surf's Up or the By the Beach are my favorite in this series. I love the way he captures.
I
love the way he captures the landscape, but I think it's sometimes like it's foreign to me because I'm not a big like Mickey Mouse fan anymore. So I guess maybe that's putting me off a little bit. But I think overall they're well done and great prints. Our next print, that's probably something you really, really enjoyed, or like all the people out there enjoyed, because it's one of something that will come up in March again in a big way, I have to say. What is it, James?
It's some film called King Kong. I don't know if you've heard
of it.
By some artist, like some guy who's new on the scene, called
this
Drew
guy.
This Drew guy, look him up. I don't know. Drew Struzan.
Struzan?
Struzan. Maybe that's what it is.
Who knows?
Yeah. But it was this like obviously the famous poster as a screen print.
Yeah.
So a continuation of the Drew Struzan presented as screen prints, a 10-color screen print, 18 by 36, and again. Signed and hand numbered,
exactly.
In addition of 275.
Yeah, and then we had I have also the variant, which is the art print version without the title treatment and all of that. I have to say, are you a fan of art print versions?
It depends totally on the print.
I think
I saw an Inception print which did have titles, and then the titles taken away, left a massive kind of like white space, and actually really liked the amount of white space when the titles have been taken away, presented as an art print. So it's totally dependent on the print. I think sometimes with Drew Struzan's, like the typography and where the credits, that kind of like springs something in your head, like, oh, that is the print, that is the cinema poster that I want to have. So yeah, it's dependent. It's dependent on the poster. I have to say,
for me, it's always like I have to have the title on for some reason, because it's not about the credit block. Because like a lot of people want the credit block, but I just want a title. I want this movie poster feel, I think, with it.
Yep, I think that feeling is like shared.
Okay.
For sure, but it's another like good way of presenting the poster, especially on classic posters where it would be more difficult to present a variant without completely changing the image.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair enough. I mean, people probably want it out there, and it makes it maybe that's why those are always like try a selling point to people who are not in the collecting business, like saying, hey, you can sell it to your girlfriend as an art print, then you can hang it up. There's those pop culture nerd stuff she probably doesn't like.
That sounds like it's coming from experience.
No, it's not. Actually, it's not. I have to say it's not. But because I remember because when the cinemas were still open, I'm hosting this sneak preview every Monday, and we have like at the cinema we always have posters, and I try to like give out posters as like little giveaways to, like for quizzes I do, and it's like I had multiple people say, hey. I love this poster, but yeah, my girlfriend won't let it hang, let me put it up or whatever. And I had a couple prints. I think it was some Star Wars ones I had here when I moved into this place, and the people that brought the couch, the movers, they were like this guy was saying, "Oh my God, those are so cool prints. My girlfriend would never let me hang any of them." And so I think like getting the art approach, being more intellectual maybe helps.
It's not as in your face, is it?
Yeah.
It's it could be any kind of art that just blends into the house. I think that's good. I think there's a good market in that for sure.
Exactly. And one of the next print came out yesterday, which was really amazing. I'm a really big fan of this guy, and it's Pablo Oliveira, and he did a follow-up piece for his Pyramid for Blade Runner 2049, and he had December 2019, he had a release of Los Angeles 2019, which is the actual original Blade Runner date when the movie takes place. And this one is Los Angeles 2049 version A, in a kind of like a blue blue greenish color scheme, and it is 36 by 12 inches and a hand numbered edition of 150 as a G-Clay print. Of this version, there was also a foil edition, and by the way, all of them sold out really quick. And yeah, the foil edition of this one was a hand-numbered one of 75. And then there's a version B to it, which is more in a pinkish scheme, which fits actually very good to with this holographic advertisement on the right for Joy. And I think that is really cool. Gives us a very cool vibe because of the one scene in the movie where Kay and like this big hologram stand opposite of each other. Really cool hand-numbered edition of 100. And then the last version, which is also very cool, which has this like kind of like brownish vibe, this almost desert vibe that the movie also gives off. And this is also a hand-numbered edition of 100. And I think this one, I got the version C, and I got also version A, the regular ones, not the foil edition. And I think the version C fits perfectly with the one I have right now, because I have the Pyramid one also in this brownish gold vibe, which would probably go perfect with this G-Clay print. Which one is your favorite?
I just can't tell. I love them all.
Gotta have them all.
I think like A is kind of a truer depiction of how it is in the film, maybe. And then, like you say, B goes well with like the end of the film. Like the purple goes really nice with the joy. And then I guess C, like you say, is kind of like a throwback to how the 2019 and the original film kind of looks with those yellowy hues. I think probably C. Okay. C or A.
C or A? So my choices.
Yeah, exactly. So you need to give me one of those. All right,
perfect. That's, you heard it, people. I'll give them one. Okay,
I totally slept on that drop as well. Like I probably was actually asleep during that drop.
Sleeping Beauty. Sleeping Beauty. Coming back to that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Now moving over. This were all the Bottleneck only releases, and now we have some co-releases with Vice Press, and they are also handled by Vice Press, and they have the Universal Monster license, and they did some really exquisite ones. And I'm going to pull this up here. This is the Frankenstein piece by Greg Staples, and it's an offset lithograph print, 24 by 36 inches, hand-numbered edition of 195. And I think this one looks very, very cool. And speaking on a topic before, they also released an art print version for this one, which is the same size and is also a hand-numbered edition of 175. And to round it all up, they have a third version, which is the original art by Greg Staples, and it's this comes as a G-Clay print, 60.5 times 11.7 inches, hand-numbered edition of 150. And I think this one also looks really cool, and it's definitely cheaper than the rest of them. And I think people went right straight for the version with the titles, as I would have to say I would do. But I think the others look really amazing, and there's some really cool stuff. And what other Universal Monster did they bring us?
They brought us Dracula. So again, the same kind of setup with the offset lithograph 24 by 36, one with the title, one as the art print, and then the original.
Yeah. What I also saw was they wrote underneath it, it was the Bela Lugosi portrait statue by Mike Hill that was used to, I guess, to sketch it, which is really cool, I have to say.
They're just really nice prints. Like out of all of them, I really like the Frankenstein. I think it's like a kind of sad depiction, which is kind of like truer to the story in a way. And I think I'd probably go, I don't know, I'd probably go for the art print on that one.
Oh.
But I like the idea of having a smaller giclée print with the original artwork, and I think that's a really good price for a smaller original. Like, I think that would look great framed up.
I think so too, and probably both next to each other. And if they, I hope Vicepress is going to continue with that, doing Greg Staples like all the monsters. I think that would be a very cool collection to have in this kind of style. Would be very amazing.
Absolutely.
Alrighty. Thank you, Vicepress, for putting this out and co-releasing it with Bottleneck. And now we're moving on to some very good Bottleneck friends as well, Gray Matter Art. And Gray Matter Art had obviously the big release with Ruiz Burgos. So we talked about that at the beginning of the show. The Lord of the Rings piece, really, really cool. And also they released, which didn't make the last episode, it was a little further down the road, it was the Guardians of the Galaxy foil variant edition by Gabs Grzegorzej Domaratsky. I hope I pronounced that right, man. I'm trying. Gabs, I'm trying. 24 inches by 36 inches, hand-numbered screen print foil paper, and it's an edition of 325 and printed by Valhalla Studios. Quick question. I love this print. Was sold out a couple of years back, and it seems like Gray Matter is going into this direction of re-releasing prints as a foil variant or something like that. Are you okay with that? Do you say that's fair? Because I've seen a lot of people like moaning about it.
I mean, other people moaning about it, people who bought the original non-foil versions.
Yeah, probably.
Exactly. This kind of opens it up to more people. Whether the foil is needed or not, I'd probably have to wait until I saw the actual print in hand to say if it like adds anything. But I'm not totally against it. If it enables more people to have the artwork up printed beautifully.
Yeah. Should it be re-released then either, or do you think it has to be like something different to it?
It depends how you see foil. I mean, foil kind of annoys a lot of people, and they see it as maybe a little bit vulgar and just another way of re-releasing a print. It's big numbers as well. But 325. Maybe if they made it a little bit, exactly, it sold out and really, really quickly too. Perhaps if they did it in slightly smaller numbers, people would be less annoyed. I know some people, who had the original felt that they had something a little bit special. Now there's larger numbers. People might be a little bit peed off because it kind of it's not as limited anymore in terms of being a physical artwork.
But in the end, I'd say they have never made a variant for it. And most of the time you have like a version and a variant version. So
there you go.
Okay. But yeah.
It doesn't annoy like re-releases.
Yeah,
I tend to kind of like buy for the art, So if something gets re-released, it's like, other people can enjoy it now. Like there's a second chance to enjoy it.
Exactly.
It's fine for me, but I can also see the other point of view as well.
Okay, here we go. Moving on to our next one, which is released by Mondo. That's it for Grey Matter Art. And Mondo is or has released also some Universal Monster stuff, which is The Phantom of the Opera by Tyler Dolan, which is a DL, which was done by DL Screen Printing, 24 inches by 18 inches, and an edition of 175 in the regular version, which looks really cool and different in style. And also in a my personal favorite variant edition here, which has an edition of 100, also done by DL Screen Printing in red, which was really cool. Have you heard of Tyler Dolan before?
No, I've seen the name written down, but I wouldn't be able to link it to the style.
Ah, okay.
But I really like the style. I think I prefer the regular. Just because it kind of is fairly unusual. Again, I'd love to see how that yellow prints out.
Okay.
So I like the way it looks. It's slightly like darkened yellow, but still vibrant with the orange. I think those two colors are kind of what make the print for me.
Very cool. All right, next one is up. Which one is up? James?
I've got Katamari. Damacy.
I don't know. I didn't know either. That's why I gave it to you.
It's by Claire Hummel. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
I could see that happening.
Come on, you're the native English speaker.
I mean, come on. That's not like that's a British word. But yeah, Claire Hummel's piece. This is really, really nice.
It's for a game, right? I don't know the game. I think it's for a game.
I have no idea. So is it like a smaller indie game? I'm gonna have to look into this because I really like the artwork. Has this one?
What's that?
Has this one sold out?
I'm not sure. Probably. It looks very amazing.
I'll have to, yeah, because it looks really good. It looks like it should sell out. But yeah, printed by White Duck in the UK, 18 by 24, and this was in an edition of 225. But I think that's great.
I love the details. I love how it peels off, like from the paper. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, that's really, really nice, and that's the screen print as well.
Very good. All right, our next one is also a screen print, which was like sold out in a couple seconds as well. And people were looking on the internet everywhere for it. It's like crazy. And it's this wonderful piece by Phantom City Creative, Captain America, the Avengers Endgame edition. It's also done by DL Screen Printing, 24 by 36 inches, edition of 300. And this one looks amazing. Also, for the people that don't know, it has 2 glow-in-the-dark layers, probably with the lightning. And I think that looks so dope. James, your thoughts?
Yeah, don't. This is a sore topic. I wanted this print so much. It's probably one of my favorite prints from the last few years. Yeah, got it into the cart and sold out, obviously.
Yeah, but AP maybe.
But someone got one.
Yes, I'm not gonna touch on that. But yeah, great print. I was like, I have to say, people, you're gonna see the interview with Z that I did, It comes out on February 3rd, and while I was doing the interview, I was doing the drop. It's like I was very, very rude next to Z, but she knew, and she was really happy about it, so it was fun. Very, very great print. Love it. And I love what the people did afterwards with Eyes Without Faces by Jason Abneson, and put it on top and like did some photoshopping with it, which was really fun. And yeah, that's a great piece. APs are coming, people. So there's a slight second chance that you might get one. So because it's probably going to go as fast as well.
Yeah. Guys at Phantom City Creative page, like, hello. I really, really want this.
Yeah. Such a great piece. Moving on to our next one, which is also in the Marvel Universe, and it's this Fantastic Four piece by Michael Cho, And this is also done via DL screen printing, 24 by 36 inches, edition of 250. Looks also really cool, very comic book covery, and yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this. I think is this Golden Age or Silver Age comic books, this kind of style. Not the biggest fan, but I think it looks really cool. And if I would be a definitely fan, I would definitely get this one because Fantastic Four got the Watcher on it, the big Watcher fan. So yeah, that's all really cool. Your thoughts on this?
Similar to you, I guess like that kind of like Silver Age style. I think if you have other posters in that style and like comic covers like on the wall, the composition of this is fantastic. But I think it would look strange next to the rest of my posters if I was to like frame this. But it's a really nice piece of art. Yeah. It's just maybe in the future I'll suddenly like get into this kind of style and start building a collection of that. Yeah.
Alrighty. This is it for Mondo, and we're moving over to Spoke Art, which released some really cool prints, I have to say, because I'm also a big sneakerhead, and they released this very cool Rich Pellegrino sneaker edition for the Jordan brand, and this was a timed edition. Both there's going to be another one I'm going to show in a second. Both editions are timed editions for $65 each, and you could get some remarks. It's also timed. As a remarked edition are the like with shoes, for example, or trophy or whatever is $125, and Michael Jordan portrait remarks are $215 or were $215 when the edition was available. And I think it's really cool with all the sneaker hats. And I talked to Spoke Art for a second here, and I don't know who I talked to, so shout out to whoever it was. It's a really cool piece, and he's the only sneaker fan in the office, he said, and so it's like really, he was like, oh yeah, finally something. Yeah, I think it turned out really great because I loved when he did like the basketball ones before, he put little sneakers in the corner, and I think the sneakers itself, just the remarks itself, looked so amazing. And I think the first one he did, well, the remarked version was super cheap, and I think you got it even like remarked version like for basically the same price that he just remarked it, and so I think after a lot of people are really fans of those remarks, they upped the ante a little bit and put a price tag on because it probably took forever to draw all those remarks. So I definitely understand it. How are you liking it? Are you a sneaker fan, James?
No, I'm glad because it would suck more money out of my account.
That's true.
I
stopped buying sneakers.
I really like.
I have to say.
There you go. It gets expensive, I think.
Yeah, I changed it for
and probably
posters.
Even more obsessive. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I definitely couldn't do both. But I really like Rich's remarks. So it'd be good to pair like one of these sneaker prints with a player remark, and then have the player with a sneaker like remark, and have those as a pair. I think that'd be really cool.
I would because I have I basically have, it's not like a real walk-in closet, but I kind of made it a walk-in closet, and I have my sneakers in there as well. Would love to have a print with all the sneakers in there. That would be amazing. Got a couple J's. My favorite Jordan is Jordan 1, so yeah, classic.
Are they the ones that are on the top?
Exactly.
I have no idea.
The ones on the top. Just gonna pull that up for the people to see again. Yeah, it's just a great shoe. Just loving it. Alrighty. Moving on to our next piece, which is by the one and only Greg Ruth. Silence of the Lambs, regular edition, run of 225, 24 by 36 inches, screen print. And also a variant which has like the night vision on, and it looks really, really cool. Really enjoying this one. The night vision variant is a run of 125, and it was all released by Mad Dog Posters, which is also a gallery, I think. Yeah, I think it's called. Yeah, you can call it a gallery. I had some dealings. I got some really beautiful John Armour Star Wars original trilogy set of Mad Dog but the owner, he released it. And yeah, so I just know the website from that, and yeah, check it out there. Some cool stuff coming there. This looks really amazing. Which one would you go for? I think I would go for the reg. I mean, we had last time.
Yeah, I'd probably go for the reg.
Last time we had the night version, but you remember?
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny how that happens, isn't it? You get two prints with that kind of idea that are coming out at the same time. I don't know, it's difficult. I think you can see the art better on the regular, but then the kind of night vision variant just like takes me back to the film a little bit more. They're both awesome. Like Greg Ruiz,
man, can't go wrong with that. I love the details on the moth,
so good.
Like which you don't notice really much, I think, because you focus on Clarice, and then
it's really just
good
fantastic.
Stuff. Yeah.
Really nice idea with separating it out to fit in the title treatment at the bottom as well, with all the moths.
Exactly. Okay. Moving on to the next gallery, which is Dark Ink Art, and they released the very beautiful The Jedi by Danny Haas, 395 piece hand numbered lithograph edition, and each print has the artist's authorized signature. 16 inches by 24 inches, and it comes with a certificate of authenticity. By the way, does it mean the artist's authorized signature? Did they print it on so he didn't sign it, right?
I don't know. I picked up this print as well from Pulse, because they get like Disney Acme prints in as well for the UK. I know Danny was signing them at Epcot. Which probably leads me to think this isn't going to be an actual signature on the print. I'm not sure, like authorized signature.
It sounds like it's printed, right?
Like, yeah, it sounds like a digital signature, with like Sideshow do that, I think, on quite a lot of their prints. But yeah, this is one I decided to get. Danny does a lot of Ahsoka. He's kind of like the Ahsoka guy.
Yeah, we had him. We featured. I think we featured last year. We featured his Clone Wars version of Ahsoka print.
Yeah. I thought this was great. Massive edition as well, like bigger than he usually does. 395, and they sold out.
There you have it, people. People are Ahsoka's in high demand.
Indeed, this is the time to put out Ahsoka prints.
This is the time. Okay, let's move over to our last gallery, and this is Black Dragon Press, and it's not per se a movie poster, but it's some very cool art print by the one and only Killian Ang, who did this first one called Eastern Passages, 18 inches by 24 inches G-clay print on 310 grams per square meter Hahnemühle German etching paper. And yeah, has the gallery stamp on the reverse and signed by the artist, limited edition of 80. And I think this one is really cool. And I have to say, not every print is my favorite print of Killian Ang. I have to say, sometimes you have to see it, and I think it grows on you. And I showed this to my girlfriend, and she was like, "Is this the Lord of the Rings print you showed me the other day?" No, it's not. But yeah, this is some fun stuff, and I really enjoyed this one. And there's also another one which I'm gonna give to you. You can present this one, James.
This is my favorite of the two.
I have to say,
this is.
I like the Eastern Passage.
Well, we could have got both, couldn't we? Nature will keep what it takes. Pretty much exactly the same. 1824, the Hahnemühle. How do you say this? Because you're German. Is it Hahnemühle with the two Hahnemühle German etching paper, which is a very good paper if you're interested. So yeah, hand numbered, gallery stamp on the reverse, and signed by Killian in an edition of 80.
I love the nerdiness that you bring also to it, because I have no clue of what paper and printing, how good or bad anything is, but I love that you have the nerdy knowledge on that one.
Yeah, the German etching's really nice.
Yeah, we try our best.
So yeah, G-clay on this is good. So you're getting good quality paper with this print.
Right.
as you would expect from that particular gallery.
As it is, they're good guys. Another James that owns a gallery.
James is
Exactly, the power of James. Okay, moving on to the digital illustrations and stuff that came out that is not really a print job, but also looks very amazing. And the first up is our good friend Adam Stothard, who has been on here with a very cool piece, and he did this Star Wars Rebellion, a Star Wars story print, which is super detailed and has so many stuff going on in the back, on the sides, and in the front there, different characters. I think it looks very amazing. I think it's one of my favorite pieces he has ever done. I guess because I'm a big Star Wars fan, but I think this one needs to go to a printer as a. I wish it would be a little like broader in the perspective here, like 12 by 36 or something like that, like a Pablo landscape print. I think that would be amazing. But how are you liking this one?
It's brilliant. When I first saw it and Adam put it online, I was like, whoa. Yeah. Adam kind of like specializes in detail, and he said that this is the most detailed thing he's ever done. It's crazy. You can crop right into a little scene, and that would make a print.
Look
itself.
At the accuracy of what is shown here, like the details on the uniforms and stuff like that. So it's a very, very incredible piece. Really enjoying this one.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
So
I think that was like a private commission or something.
Private commission?
So I don't think it's going to be. I think it was like for an individual or for like he was approached, so it wasn't in a group or anything.
I was just wondering, because I need to approach him about that.
Yeah, maybe more art should approach Adam for something similar.
Okay.
Maybe.
Our next one is also a good friend, Sam Gilby, and he put out some WandaVision art, which we're gonna get. I heard Matt Ferguson is working on something, so that's gonna happen. And this is a wonderful piece. There was two different versions. The first one was a black and white version of Wanda and Vision as the I forgot, who is it? James Arthur? No. Who did the original art? I forget the name, but it's like this very famous painter, American painter.
I can never remember.
Called Modern Gothic, I think the print, the painting.
Yeah.
And in this style, and there's also like a colored version with the bottom where you can see like the WandaVision stylized advertisement, which you can see like this TV thing they have going on, which is really cool.
It's like a glitch at the bottom of the.
And how do you like the show so far, by the way?
I love it. Yeah. I am totally hooked. Yeah,
it's so different. I really wonder where they're gonna go there.
I'm walking off. That's terrible. No, I love it. It's awesome. I am really hooked on it. Actually, I think they couldn't have gone into TV in a better way.
I'm gonna make it worse. I think I made the joke before, and I said, I wonder what their vision is going to be.
Oh,
Jesus. Okay, moving on really fast to the next one, which is Skywalker Family at War by Christine Baver. She wrote this book. She's also a host of Star Wars Book Circle or something like that, or like it definitely is a show on the Star Wars YouTube channel. And she released this book, or it's going to be released, and Matt Ferguson did the artwork for the book, so which is really cool. And the cover looks already amazing. He posted it in the group, and people already wanted let me get a print of that, because that's what happens if you're Matt Ferguson and put out some Star Wars art. But it looks amazing. Would love to have one as well if it ever comes out as a print version. But I will definitely grab the book because I love to read Star Wars books.
It's good. It is. Very good.
Matt.
I don't know how Matt's doing like that effect to make things look like they're from the 70s. There's like a kind of tone, like the way Vader looks. It looks like a kind of like
It's called
70s,
color
80s
grading
poster.
in the film industry.
Yeah,
Kinda
yeah,
like that,
but
right?
and like you can do overlays
Yeah.
and stuff, but I just want to know that secret source. I want to know like what overlay he's or what he's
Matt,
doing.
what is it?
Or,
Maybe
maybe it's just skills. Like maybe I just don't have the chops.
But by
I
the
don't
way,
have the
on
skills.
Saturday, there's probably going to be a live stream happening over at the Open Channel, Vice Press Open Channel. And maybe you can come on, James, and then ask him.
It's like, what are your secrets?
Industry secrets, now.
Tell me all of your secrets. I know where you live.
Okay, our last one is, he moved though, do you?
I don't know.
Okay, next one is by Rafael Rolla, and he did a very beautiful piece for Whiplash, which looks very amazing. I love his style. I love the Star Wars pieces he did. Always brings some greatness to it. I have to say, why are people not commissioning this guy? Because I love his pieces. They should, and it should be printed, and it should hang in people's apartments and galleries around the world, I'd say. Loving this one. You're just nodding? Agree?
I agree with everything like you just
Perfect.
said. Yeah, as a drummer, it kind of like the film kind of like speaks to me, and this just presents everything that the film makes you feel. Like really
I love
great.
the red. I love the
it.
red as well, because like it gives me this feeling of like intensity, and then like the blood he basically has in the movie and his hands and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly.
Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Good
All right,
stuff.
people. This is it for this release show. We will be back in 2 weeks with some very cool artists on, and especially with our good friend James, who is very helpful in giving you a deeper insight on art and the way it's made. So
I tell you about papers. That's what I'm here for.
exactly. That's why I invited you. So yeah, stay tuned for our next episode, and we will talk in our next episode. To Z. Yeah, it's gonna come out next week. Ziju or Jouet, or so, I don't know. She's gonna pronounce the name correctly. I don't. So stick to Z. That's helpful, and she's a great artist. So keep an eye on her. All right, guys. Bye, guys.
Bye.